Hello friends and welcome back. We have somehow managed to cling to our spot in Platinum 4. I don't think it'll last for long though. Today we're taking on LCMII. If these guys look familiar, it's because it's one of the only two alliances that we actually managed to beat this season. So it's a rematch. Going in with the trusty trio. Taking Path 7 in Section 1 today. So we have a hidden node here, and the Scouter Lens tool was not very helpful here. So I'm going to go in with Void. You can see our opponents are running dodge. I was kind of expecting like a wasp. Turns out it is a Sentinel, which is fine. So this node also has bubble shield, so I have to mind how many parries and blocked hits I take, which is fine with the Sentinel on this node because once he gets his max analysis, he gets that like power reserve from his abilities, so it's much easier to cycle his specials, and I don't have to take additional parries to get my openings and whatnot. So I also think that this is the stingiest Sentinel that I have ever seen. I spent way too much time in this fight baiting out special attacks. At least that's how I remember it. I felt like the fight should have gone a little faster. You know, fights with Void aren't generally very quick, unless there is heavy amounts of regen involved. But and Sentinel, I guess, you know, he's a tanky character anyway. So I think at some point here I get tired of baiting out his special one and then just say screw it. We'll go for the SP2. If I have to take a hit, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to get incinerated. It won't kill me. Just have to use some potions. Little did I know that I would be using several potions this war, so it's pretty good that I didn't have to take an SP2 to the face. And I came out of here with pretty close to max health, so a little bit more degen and one more SP2 if he decides to fire it, which he doesn't, and he just falls over. So, alright, let's get the good fights out of the way here. Alright, so I actually mentioned last war that it's been a while since I died to a Domino, and I'm pretty much jinxed myself. So, if you remember back in War 3 or 4 this season, I fought a Domino with Warlock, and in that video, she evaded my SP2 like multiple times, the entire thing. Or rather, she evaded the first hit and then blocked, and then she just stood there and didn't counterattack. I thought that was some pretty weird behavior. So it actually happens again twice in this video. She evades the first hit of my SP2 twice. I think the first time it doesn't cost me, and then the second time she decides she finally wants to combo into me. So you'll see. So again, opponents are running dodge. This is Aggression Fury. So I have to stay pretty aggressive myself as much as I can without doing full 5-hit combos, because I also have to be aware of dodge. I also have to be aware of her natural evade when she's lucky. So I'm not really concerned about infections there. There we go. So she evades the first SP2, and I am, you know, already a little bit on tilt here because that kind of behavior is crap. Like I know it's a low chance, but for it to happen 3 and 4 times, and she didn't evade before that. It was just it had to be that hit, right? The first hit of the SP2, negating the entire special attack. So there you go. She does it again, and she combos into me. I had an indestructible boost on, but the critical failure damage does me in. I was really, really irritated by that. So I healed up, determined to kind of finish this off, and I went back in. She evades again, and I'm trying my best to stay focused while also, you know, controlling my my irritation at that death. Because if I feel like if I had landed one of those special twos, the fight would have been over before that. And you know, maybe I got lucky the first 3 times it happened that she didn't want to counterattack me. But you know, Domino, she is the most OP defender in the game, and if she hits you, you're probably gonna die. So, all right, we're up on Section 2, my normal path here. We got a Nick Fury on Masochism. I debated what I wanted to do here. You can see me kind of thinking about it. In the end, I go with Namor. I feel like last time I tried this node with Warlock and it did not work out for me very well. Now, another thing to mention here is that this is the first Alliance War fight that I've taken with post-balance Namor. So you can see he is proccing many more bleeds than he used to, which is the intent here. And my outrage is climbing at a much slower rate, which is also the intention here. So the rate of bleeds is definitely working against me in this fight because of masochism. Because he's proccing bleeds so much more frequently, it's triggering the node pretty much every time it's up. And, you know, I'm a minute in, and I keep just damaging him and healing him back up to full. So I think I'm trying to adjust my strategy. You know, do I wait for 30 outrage or 28 outrage and unlock the special 3? I'm thinking I'm going to run out of time. This is not going to work out in my favor. The days of the double fury on Namor in a bleedable opponent are probably over because of the 3-minute timer. I decided to launch my special 3 a bit early. So at least I have some additional attack rating here, which will doesn't really increase the potency of the bleeds, which is a bit disappointing. And then we'll get a small amount of uptime here with the second Fury. I don't know why the dodge on the SP2 didn't work. I went back in because it was muscle memory, and I got parried. Luckily, that didn't cost me too much. I was able to still get the second SP3 off. And we've done, you know, some decent amount of damage here, working through the masochism. The bleeds are helping to negate the amount of regen that he's getting. And then we finally pushed him over to the real Nick Fury phase with the SP2. I've got one Fury up, so I'm trying my best to, you know, land an intercept, which I do. And from here, I think like time is much more on my side. I've got a minute left, and he's pretty much dead, and there he goes. So, yeah, my confidence in Namor going forward against opponents who can bleed, not very high going forward. So that is a serious disappointment to me. Alright, so we got a Brie Larson on Buffet, so finally we get a relatively easy fight, finally. Right, so the only other thing we have to worry about in this fight, other than how we normally play it, is that since they're running dodge, she can evade, which you saw her do a second ago. Other than that, you know, this person is running willpower, so it's pretty much the same as it usually is, just very heavy. Keep her under a bar of power so that you don't have to worry about baiting out special attacks. And that's pretty much it. I think I have a little bit of trouble with parries in this fight. You can see me miss a few. So I end up doing like, you know, full 5-hit combos and backing off. That parry worked, I think. The one before that didn't work though. So, and then that one didn't work. So it's gonna lay into her SP2 and finish her off. Alright, so next and last, this is actually a pretty short war for me, because I ended up using so many items healing up from that Domino that I wasn't very well equipped for much of Boss Island. So, alright, this is a Korg on Buffet. I can't really use Namor here because it has the Empowered Immunity node on it. And since Namor is going to be proccing bleeds twice as often now, I would be giving Korg way too much power. So the proper counter to this node, I think, would be Omega Red, whom I do not have. So as you see, I healed up Warlock and I added a regen boost. So the only thing I keep telling myself during this fight is do not launch an SP2 when he has his rock shield up. Do not launch his SP2 when he has the rock shield up. Bait out this special 2. Somehow he clips me. It's never happened before with the end of that tornado thing. So then I completely forget about the rock shield. Oh, look at that damage back. That sucks. Yeah, so launch the full thing into his shield. That took off a huge chunk of my health, and yeah, my fault completely. I think I was still a bit annoyed by Domino. I did this whole path right in like a 10-minute time span. So I still had that fight fresh in my mind for sure. And yeah, so we're gonna pretty much try and kill him before the Thorns damage does us in. There's no way for us to really avoid it. I'm not good at the shallow intercepts for Korg, so I'm just going to have to take the Thorns damage from the medium attacks and hope that he dies before I do. So we get out one more with SP2, 2 more hits, and I have a safe window to launch the SP2, and he goes down, 10% of my health left. Close one. So, yeah. So not my best war for sure. That Domino fight, very irritating. But I was probably overdue for some Domino shenanigans. Yep, so we lost the rematch. Of course, heavy potion use, 1 death. Other than that, yeah, a very, not a very eventful war for me. So, like I said, no action on Boss Island. I was in meetings for much of the day today, so I couldn't hop on and help, even if I had a champ healed up and available. So, only a few wars left in the season. It's been a miserable one, gotta be honest with you. So, see what happens in the off season and next season. Until next time, we'll see you.